Hello and welcome to another episode of the Slip Cordon. With me this evening, I have Rebecca Rolfe, top order batter from Leinster Cricket Club, and also Leinster top order batter Laura Delany, and she's also the captain of the Typhoons and the Irish women's cricket team. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
We'll start off with you, Bex. Someone that's been around the traps for a good while, not quite as long as myself, but a good while. And you've had a really good season, but you're kind of only back to first team cricket full time this season. You must be delighted with how it's gone.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. I suppose I've really enjoyed it. I stepped back a little over the last couple of years, as you say, and being able to come back and I suppose contribute to the team and play Division 1, the competitive streak in me never really went. It doesn't go anywhere, it's still there. So it's great to be able to, support younger players, but also play with your friends and I suppose just get out and play the sport that you love, so it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't step away because of any lack of competitive kind of juices, I suppose. It was because you had your gorgeous daughter, Lana, and you kind of took a back seat for a couple of years, but it's really, Leinster are lucky to have a player such as yourself to call on when, during times like this, you might have lost a few senior players, didn't get an overseas player. So was that a role that you kind of relished taking on?
I think so. And as you say, I suppose coming back after having Alana, that was important to me as well, because, you think about it, thought about it with respect to when I was growing up and when I started playing women's cricket. There was only a handful of women whose kids, on the sideline watching, it was incredibly rare. Now it's becoming more and more, and I think it's so important. You look at the men's game and you see all the kids every weekend of every single player. Your families, you were there watching generally the males in your family playing cricket, so why does it have to be like that? It doesn't. Obviously there's challenges, obviously it's difficult, you need support at home to be able to do it. I've had that, so I've been lucky to be able to do it. But yeah, so playing with girls who are teenagers, there's challenges there, but look, it's enjoyable still, and if, as I say, you can contribute and you can keep enjoying it, then you have to step forward and be the role models for the next generation. So yeah, if I do that in a little way, maybe that's what I can offer.
I couldn't agree with you more, and brilliant to see Sue Kennedy as well there. Also a recent mum coming back to playing and playing a big role for Leinster, kind of when you've needed her. And Laura, just coming to you, we'll touch on Leinster's season. It's been an unbeaten run, and the league is up for grabs on Thursday. So a win will seal it. How many years is that now?
Hopefully this will be our second year in the running. Yeah. Although I reckon Thursday's going to be a tough game. YM is always a tough match, and they have some players that are in really good form at the moment. I think they have like 4 or 5 players that are involved in the Super 2. So we know that it's going to be a tough game, but I suppose just looking back on the season, obviously it was quite short. But yeah, thankfully we've had a good run of it so far.
Kind of an exciting thing, I guess, Rebecca, that it's coming down to the last game. We don't have a final in Division 1, this being a league and there being no cup. I suppose, are you going to treat Thursday like a cup final and must-win match?
Well, I'd go into every game being a must-win match. So yeah, I think so. But look, if we enjoy it, generally we'll be successful if we're continuing to enjoy it. And I suppose coming back again, just thinking personally, when I've come back and played, I've enjoyed it now over the last couple of years more than I ever have. And that would be something that I would continue to try to say to the younger players. Obviously there's always something to prove. You're putting that pressure on yourself. You're stressed out about it. But forget about all that and just enjoy it. And you will be successful, So that's how I'd look at it. Enjoy it and the success will come.
That's a good mentality to have up the top of the order. You've scored a lot of runs this season coming back, so you're obviously enjoying it a lot, Bex. Dels, you've also scored a lot of runs this season in club cricket, even though you've missed a couple of games now, but in Super 2s cricket as well. How important are those games, and how does it feel having 2 teams involved rather than 3?
Yeah, I think so far it has been quite competitive. I think the first 2 games were very competitive. High scores were put up on the board. The last 2 probably a little bit one-sided affairs. But yeah, I think personally I've struggled with the bat in the last few games. I know some of the girls are in great form. Yeah, I think having 2 sides definitely makes it a little bit more competitive. Obviously, we're missing a few players, Mary Waldron and a few others who are still over in Australia, and Emer Richardson in New Zealand. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next season. But so far, we're actually currently, unfortunately, 3-1 down at the moment. We have 4 games left, so we're hoping to make a comeback. But so far, they've been good games. They've been competitive, so hopefully that will continue.
So having the 2 teams presumably means there's a bit more competition for places within those teams. And so that competitive kind of side of it to get into the team and then perform to keep your place must add to the, you know, how important each match is and how important each performance is. And therefore, you know, gets the girls a bit more ready for playing competitive international cricket then.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, look, obviously we are missing a few players, as I've said, that are overseas, but that does give other players an opportunity to come in. Freya, Rebecca Goff, Georgina Dempsey are just a few players that have come into the side and have definitely taken their opportunity and have huge potential. So I think that's also really exciting for next season.
Bex, just a little bit out of left field here, but do you think that these games coming when they have the Super Twos, Toyota Super Twos, are, you know, something that the girls strive for when they're playing club cricket to perform so that they can get noticed and picked in those clashes?
Yeah, I think so. I think the more cricket you're playing, the better people are going to become. You know, playing against different sides. You know, in Leinster, we know our club sides. We know generally who we're going to be playing against. But I think it's really important to mix it up. You know, and play against your own teammates. Play against different people in different scenarios. The more cricket you're playing, the better everybody's going to get. You know, and you need to be putting pressure on the likes of Laura Delany and Gabby Lewis. You know, you need to be able to show your worth, and these are the games that you do it, and you can get hidden and lost in club cricket, you know, if you have strong international players. So yeah, put your hand up and play as much cricket as you can, especially in that format.
I don't think Laura was too pleased with that comment about putting pressure on the likes of Laura. I think you're safe.
But I'm putting pressure again. You know.
Recall for Rebecca Rolfe, maybe. Yeah. But Laura, these games are obviously taking place and they're going really well. But you know, disappointment on the international scene where, you know, you really don't know what's coming next. Is there a roadmap for you guys? What's coming down the line for you, or how are you going about your training?
Yeah, so we actually just had a group call there last week, management and all the players in the performance squad. So we do have a roadmap for the next few months in regards to training and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to games at the moment, no, we don't have any idea as to when our next international fixture will be. So yeah, that is slightly disappointing, but I suppose a lot of other teams are in the same position. And I think that's why these Super 2 games are so important to us. Obviously, we worked pretty hard during the winter. So I suppose to have an opportunity to go out and play is the main thing at the moment. And then it just gives us another 10 to 12 months to work hard before we go back into the qualifiers.
With the group that's in it, that's training, there are a lot of, I know we always have quite a young squad involved when it's the Irish team, but more so probably now than ever. There's a huge bunch there that are between kind of 15 and 18 that look really exciting. So maybe not the worst time for this hiatus and a bit of a long training block for you guys. If it has to come, then maybe now is the best time it could have been.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're probably pretty fortunate that we don't have any players that I suppose are coming to the end of their career. A lot of the girls, as you said, are very young. So I think there's a great energy and enthusiasm around the group. So I don't think pushing the qualifiers out for another 10 months will impact us negatively. I think if anything, it's going to work in our favour.
And one exciting youngster who, you know, will be going from strength to strength, Orla Prendergast, was just announced as the 6th contract. You must be delighted to see that she's committed to playing cricket.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's thoroughly deserved. I think she has huge potential, and a wise head on young shoulders. both a batter and a bowler, and she'll play such a pivotal role in the team going forward. So I'm looking forward to seeing how, I suppose, more access to more training and contact time with the coaches helps her game going forward.
Yeah, really exciting that those 6 contracts have been filled again. And just before we finish up, Rebecca, back to you. Like we said, final game on Thursday, and you're going to treat it like it's a final against YM. Any game plans that you're going to let us know ahead of time? How are you going to? How's the team going to shape up against a strong YM batting lineup?
Well, hopefully.
Secrets.
Yeah.
It does. I don't think that any of the YM girls watch this, so it's fine.
Well, they've obviously got strength in a couple of very good players. We're going to obviously need to watch that. Hopefully we'll have our full strength side out. I know we have a couple of injuries, but fingers crossed, it'll be an exciting game to watch.
And then on the other side, you've got Pembroke taking on Marion. So you need Marion to, well, you don't need them to do you a favour, but if you happen to slip up against YM, if Marion can make sure they beat Pembroke, then you'll still retain the Division 1 Sprint Coatings women's title. So best of luck in that game. I'll be keeping an eye on it while we're looking to see who's going to come out on top in the clash at the bottom of the table between Clontarf and the Hills. That's the other clash that's taking place on Thursday. Also coming up, unfortunately, we didn't have Division 2 semi-finals tonight. They were supposed to take place, but the weather has put paid to that. But both will be refixed, and the final of that competition, the only women's competition that has a final actually, is Division 2, and that will take place on the 5th of September. So something exciting to look forward to. And Division 3 is still open, so we'll see who comes out on top. There are a few strong teams pushing for the win in that. And then Division 4, Railway looking strong out in front, but Pembroke have entered a 3rd team and they're doing well, and they've won both their 2 matches so far. So still lots to look forward to in terms of results. And I hope both of you do really well on Thursday, and it's an exciting match, and that the weather does not put an end to the season, although it did put an end to the semi-finals tonight. Thanks so much for coming on, guys.
Thanks, Izzy.